You need this hype music every time you come into a meeting, right? Hello and welcome to the Voice of the Microsoft Partner. My name is Sherman Krancer. I'm the president and CEO of the Krancer Group, and want to say thank you so much for joining us today. It's where are we? The end of April. Wow, it's just crazy today. A lot of things have been happening, a lot of changes. We're coming up towards Microsoft fiscal year end. So there's a lot of things that are going. So today we're going to have a great session. We've got a great speaker here, somebody I've known for about 10 years that is highly respected. We'll get into introducing him in just a second. But we're really going to get into, distribution is something that we all have been a part of. We work with all these different distributors. However, what I wanted to do today was really kind of dig into it and really kind of ask some tough questions about, what to expect from a distributor, right? What to expect from, from being a partner's perspective, what can they do to help you out? Like, how do they go about, going to market? What are they doing differently, right? And just kind of have some ideas. And I think, our guest speaker today is going to be fantastic to really help us unpack some of this stuff. Comes with some great credentials. A couple quick announcements I'd like to just quickly hit on. We just partnered with a company. We actually put together an exchange portal. Now, this exchange portal is for any partner that is looking to buy or sell their business, their MSP business or SI business or whatever you're doing. You can actually go to our website and actually input your information. Now, the beauty of this particular change is, or this offer, it's anonymous. So a lot of us, we're kind of thinking about it. We don't know where we're at in our business. Maybe we're just even trying to figure out what is the valuation of our business. And part of what we do is we work with partners. So we partner with IT Exchange, and it's really great. We'll get into it a little bit more later on in the show, but I want to make that announcement. So we'll have some links in here for you to go ahead and check out. But frankly, if you're looking to buy, to add new customer base, or you're looking to sell, it's anonymous. There's no charge for it. Just a great way to maybe dip your toe in the market. If you don't know somebody, or maybe somebody at your office may be interested, go ahead and do that. Secondly, we actually have just been tapped by Microsoft to run, get this, 50 workshops over the next 2 months. These are 4-hour-long workshops that are going to be designed to do two things. Really, one is help you understand but it's announcing small business path to partner solution designations. So we heard a lot about, the skilling issues, or maybe the attribution issues, right? Or how customer net adds, right? So they actually created this really great not they created, but they changed it up a little bit. And so our 4-hour workshop is going to be designed to help you understand that, but also how to shape your business to be put yourself in a position to work with Microsoft. A lot of us don't know this, and a lot of us click and drag, and we're like, what's going on? This 4-hour workshop, you will leave with a excellent understanding of what you need to do to be able to work with Microsoft to take advantage of all the incentives, all of the different programs that are there, and we'll walk you through a really detailed workshop. Lastly, the good part about that is in the workshop, we're going to be talking about business profiling and technical readiness. We're actually going to be comparing your answers to the top 15% of Microsoft partners. So then you'll have an idea at the end, how do you stack up, right, compared to other people? So there's a link here that we're going to put into the chat window. You can go ahead and sign up for them if you want. We're going to be, Microsoft's doing a lot of demand gen. It's a Microsoft produced event. We're the ones that are actually just doing the facilitation for it. So it's there's no charge for it. It's going to be great with that. So those are really the two announcements that I want to kind of get into. And I think next, what I'd like to do is actually introduce, if you go to the next slide, I think what we're doing for the next VOMP, right? I think that's next. Before I introduce Nick here for a second, our next VOMP for next year, or not next year, next month, is actually exploring Microsoft's new SMB path for Azure Solution Partner designations. And we're actually bringing Andrew Bowe, who's actually a director at Microsoft. He's going to come and talk to us about strategy and a little bit more in depthly about this. So if you can't attend the workshop, make sure you come to the Voice of the Microsoft Partner. Now, we're also changing up the way we register people for the Voice of the Microsoft Partner. We now have an ICS, an actual calendar invite that's actually recurring, so that now you just have to accept it one time. And the beauty of it is Microsoft finally allows us to hide the names of the attendees so that nobody else can see if you accepted that invite. That's been the bane of our existence. That's why we've had to continually send you these invites, and you have to continually register for these new things. That's going to be the thing of the past. Well, it's going to take us a few months to get through this. But if you can download the ICS, go ahead and accept it, and you'll get the calendar invite, and then you'll be on your way. And this way, you're not going to have to deal with all of our emails and registering every single month for this. We're excited about it. Now, it's not going to work perfectly, I think, in the first couple months, but we're going to figure it all out, and we're really happy to do that. All right, so that's my 6 minutes here, because we want to stop doing the updates, and we want to get straight into what we want. So let me go ahead and bring in Nick Hetty. Nick is actually on the video right now. Nick, thank you so much. You're the Chief Commerce Officer, right, for Pax8. And would you mind just introducing yourself a little bit to the organization, or to the people here today?
Of course, Sherman. Thank you for extending the invite to me. I am Nick Hetty, Chief Commerce Officer here at Pax8. A little bit about myself. I've been with the company almost 11 years now, and I was employee number 8. So been on the ride the entire time.
And you and I, we met actually, I think, right when that was kind of all starting, right? And that was kind of cool. And I think you're on one of my previous shows with the Titans of the strategies from the Titans of sales and industry. So that was pretty awesome. So thank you so much for coming today. Really do appreciate it. I think we're gonna get some great information. So why don't we go ahead and actually get into it? I think there's a little bit of history. I've always looked at Pax8 as a really great distributor. I really have. I have nothing but great things to say about it. And when I was at Microsoft, you guys came out, and it was kind of like we're putting this. Can you just kind of give a brief overview, a little bit of history, and maybe why Pax8 was formed, why you came in, and what were you doing differently, right, to service the partners in the industry?
Yes. So I do have to start by saying we have never viewed ourselves as a distributor, and we have always felt like we were and are a marketplace that is displacing and disrupting distribution. A little bit about the backstory. Our CEO, John Street, has started several companies, and previous to Pax8 was a company called MX Logic, where he grew into one of the largest SaaS email filtering companies that was independent in the world. And he used some of the legacy distribution options that are still out there today. And it did not take him long to realize when it comes to shipping a box from point A to point B, or acting as a financier, they still add a lot of value and will for a long time into the future. But when it comes to cloud orchestration and all the value add that needs to happen there, they were falling flat. And so that was the catalyst for us to set out and solve for what we perceived as a cloud distribution problem that we solved through our marketplace. So we entered and started selling in July of 2013. And of course, we had a little bit of a chicken and an egg problem. We would talk to partners and say, hey, you remember MX Logic? You remember John Street? He was great. Yeah, well, we are different. You should buy from us. They said, what products do you have? We said, none, but hold on. We're going to get some. And then go to vendors and say, hey, we're different. We want to be able to sell your products. They say, great. How many partners do you have? We said, well, none, but we're going to get some. And so it has been a long journey fighting to get each partner and each vendor that we have today. But that's a little bit of the history on how Pax8 perceived a cloud problem in market.
And I think the other problem that you, and this might be the next question, attributing success, but I remember, when 365 rolled out, right? And, most of the partners were kind of stuck on doing legacy business, right? Well, let's buy, all of our, copies of Office 365 2016, not Office, but, Office 2016, right? And then they came to this new model, but then billing was a problem, right? Maybe can you just touch a little bit on that, and then we'll get into the success.
Yeah, I would say that there are three big problems that we solve. One is provisioning. My license did not get turned on. I don't know who to call. When you do get a hold of somebody, they say, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know when I can fix it. Support is typically non-existent at this layer. So we wanted to solve for that. And yes, billing is absolutely a challenge. If you think about SMB, Forrester says that they're consuming up to 18 products per an SMB customer. And if you think about all those vendors, some might be arrears, bill ahead, entitlement-based consumption, taking all of that complexity and integrating that billing into the tool set that you use to make that much easier for your back office team. That is absolutely something we had to solve early on and still feel like we are market leader in our billing solutions.
Yeah, no, I think that was a big one. And I remember, we had to be very apolitical, I guess, or we never really could talk about like this distributor is better than that when I was at Microsoft. But I was always kind of like, hey, go talk to Pax8, this is software. So the other thing too is, the legacy ordering, right? And then the cloud came up. So, maybe that kind of transitions really into the next question is about, it's not too many companies come in and disrupt like the industry. And I think maybe you guys don't get enough credit for that Herculean effort, but what would you say is some of the key things that really helped you or helped Pax8 achieve this enormous success in just, what, 8 years, 10 years now, I think?
Less than that.
Right?
It's probably been 6 years. We began selling 6 years ago through an affiliate entry, and then we were authorized in July of 2020, so just 4 years ago. So I would attribute that success to just listening to partners. We consider ourselves the champion of the underserved, and there is a lot of underserved partners around the globe. And so listening to what the needs are, I would say that we understand partners and partners' challenges. We understand SMB and the challenges that are there. So listening to partners on what they needed, and then building as fast as we can with our agile team. Our R&D team of engineers is now over 300. So when a partner raises something as an issue, they would often see a fix in weeks. And you just don't see that anywhere else across the industry, especially for a managed service provider who serves SMB. So in just 4 years' time, Pax8 has been able to lead Americas in number of partners that they serve, number of customers that we serve through our partners, and revenue. So the Microsoft drumbeat of reach, frequency, and yield, Pax8 in just 4 years has taken over Americas in all three of those categories. So I would put that in the category of being disruptive. Yes.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. But I tell a lot of folks, when you're starting a business or you're selling something, you need to like really think about what is the main problem, right? What is the problem out there that I can solve, right, with this? What is a frustration that a lot of people are having that you can solve, right? And, for example, even our organization, the Crancer Group, we solve two different problems. One is just working with Microsoft because it's so darn hard. So we help our partners navigate it so they stop clicking, right? That's a big deal. And part of that, we also find the money, right? But number two, we do lead gen because that's the other thing that partners are having trouble getting net new customers right there. But with that, we found a problem. We are serving that problem, and that's what it is. And I do believe that when you guys came in, it was pretty right because there was just a big change, right? A change of just the way we're buying. Now it's all cloud, and maybe some of the legacy organizations that may have been too big weren't really solving that. They were solving other problems, but not that. So I think that's what you did is really something else. So enough of the praise here. But so let's get into something else, which I think is kind of important. What are the top 5 things that you think a Microsoft partner should know before considering a tier 2 provider? And reason why you might want to switch from one to the other. Could you answer that one?
Yes. I think a deep understanding across all of Microsoft, right? They have an amazing set of technologies, whether it is the modern work suite or productivity suite, whether it is Azure, BizApps, Power BI, Dynamics, and now Copilot, which is an overlay across all of those things. Pax8 has a deep bench that understands how to take that to market, how to get certified, and we call it Business IQ and Vendor IQ. So Business IQ is, okay, an example you just mentioned, how do you get more sales, more leads? Well, one question I might always ask is, well, what is your capacity to onboard new customers? Let's say you're really successful in your marketing efforts. How many could you actually onboard? Are you set up to win 5 customers, 10 customers in a month? Or are you creating demand for one of your competitors? So I would say enablement across all of those clouds, not just the vendor IQ, but the business IQ and how it impacts your entire organization. I would say a deep understanding of the partner ecosystem and the tools and the way they do business. An example of that would be there are lots of great Microsoft tools, and not all of them are multi-tenant. And so Pax8 takes some of those great tools and makes them multi-tenant so that you can see across all of your customers, all of the tenants, all of the clouds. And we have a deep understanding of partner business. I think that sets us apart. Pax8 is over 500,000 customers today. And if you take the average user count at each of those customers, it's less than 30. So we understand not only SMB, but the IBB, the itty bitty business, and we do it better than anybody else. And we know that is our strength. And for the partners we serve, that's important. I would say, like the Crancer Group and like Sherman, Microsoft is always making changes, and they are a giant organization and navigating all of the changes that are coming through. I'm so happy to hear that you're going to do 400 hours in 2 months of SMB enablement. That is a Herculean effort on your part. But just navigating this ecosystem is a challenge. So we complement and amplify some of the things that the Crancer Group is doing, and we love that work. And then I would just say that we value the business that comes from partners who serve SMB. And so if you're struggling to get a call back because someone believes you to be too small, I would say we care about your business, and we demonstrate that every day. So those are the 5 things: enablement across all clouds, deep understanding of partners, of SMB, access to all the Microsoft changes that are coming down the pipe, and we value your business. And I would say those are some core differentiation.
I think Yeah, ease of working with somebody, finding having somebody answer the phone, right? Because it's interesting. Like if you think about it, when you have a problem, you need it solved. You need an answer or something, right? And putting something in and getting an answer 2 days later, I think is unfortunately in the way that we do business today. Everything's so fast that we really need to have that. But then, and everything's so changing so fast. I think you guys have a really good bench on technical bench, which can help the smaller partners. But I also believe that what would be really important is, especially for the SMB partner, the partner that is already selling 20 other things, but maybe never really sold Microsoft, right? But they implement the heck out of it. But then, like, how do you get started? Like, that's a bear in itself. Just, well, how do I? What? I got to do this. I got to do that, right? And I think you guys do a good job of that. So I think, yeah, I concur with that. And I think we have a poll that we're going to go ahead and throw up here. We're kind of and this is it's an anonymous poll. Okay, you're not going to be recorded. But what it is do you feel like you're getting the proper support from your distribution partner? I'm curious. Some are great, some are not great. But there's no names that we're going to be showing for here. So just yes, I do. Not really. Not at all. Could use some help. Just curious at what the folks here might be kind of. I'm going to go ahead and put. Not really, but let's see what other people say. We'll go ahead and see what the results come out with. But all right, moving on to the next one. Oh, I also want to make sure that everybody here, we always use this as a potential networking opportunity for you. So if you would like to put your name and your company's name, your contact info, and what you specialize in. There might be partners around the country that might need somebody who could do that, right? So we always want to make sure that this is open to anybody who wants to use it as a networking opportunity. So with that being said, what do you think are, Nick, what do you think are the services that you think are critical to provide a Microsoft partner to help them build their business?
Yeah, we do a lot of enablement across all clouds. And I'll give you an example. We believe that we've gotten a great Azure practice and we can help somebody just get started and take that first step. But we noticed we were getting lots of requests across Dynamics, and we didn't quite have a great answer that was in-house. We do have a strong network of Dynamic partners, and we still do today, refer lots of business to them. But we really wanted an answer in-house. And so we looked across the globe to try and find a great acquisition, and we found a company called Bamboom Cloud, which had an amazing founder, CEO, Vicky Critchley. We acquired that company just over a year ago, and we are now in-house helping partners who serve SMB, helping them understand that Business Central business. And when you look at your partners who are consuming modern work and maybe beginning to use Azure, a lot of partners don't know. If you tack on Dynamics to that, you see Azure consumption grow about 10 times that of if you did not have Dynamics as a complementary product within that suite. And so what we do is enablement, so helping partners to understand all the clouds. We have a pro services team, and whether you have a great bench of people with deep knowledge and you want us to do the easy work like migrations, or you have a team that's great at migrations and you don't get enough Azure implementations, so you don't have the Azure architecture that is on your team. So whether it's too easy or too hard, I would say give our pro services team a try, and we are priced to break even. We view this as an enabler of recurring revenue for our partners, so we price it at a point where you could actually mark this up. We can come in and do it as a white label for your business, so handle calls like we are an employee of yours. But I would say the enablement and the pro services, so whether you want us to teach you how to do it, show you how to do it, or just do it for you, those services across all clouds are also a differentiator.
Now that is something I like to hear because, yeah, I mean, gosh, you're a partner. You walk into a business, you're already servicing them, doing networking, doing managed services, and then they come to you and say, "Hey, do you know Microsoft Fabric?" And then as a partner, you're like, well, how I would do it, absolutely, 100%. But some of our partners may not do that. But having that resource, I think, is good. So regardless of the distributor that you have or looking at, because I don't want to be just all about just Pax8 here. I think that's the requirement. I think that's something that you should make sure that you have and you can ask for. And it's not just because your people don't know what they're doing, but heck. Especially if you can mark it up and they're looking at costs because they're helping you drive overall, revenue that's going to help everybody out. Now that's a true partner, right? In my mind, that's a true partner. We're here to help each other, not just to pinch money off you. A lot of times I'll talk to partners and I'll say, yeah, well, you have some co-op available, but frankly, we can't work together because you need to get these things done first, and we could take your money, but I don't want to, but that's a true partner. Somebody who can tell you like, okay, this is the brass tacks, like this is what it is. But then also being able to train them and help them out, especially. And also, last thing, I'm kind of going off a tangent here, but with everything going so fast and changing so quickly, I mean, it's so hard for our partners to actually have those resources in house to do that. And that kind of goes into our small partner or solution partner designations, right? We got to upskill our partners with that. And this is a little bit off of what we kind of planned on, but upskilling. I just want to touch on that a little bit. Do you think it's important to provide opportunities for partners to learn and to be able to, get the certs? And do you provide any? Is that something that you guys really kind of work on to help the partner base?
Yes, another one of our amazing acquisitions was a company called C-Level Operations, and that was CEO, founder-led company by Rex Frank. And he had one of the best reputations in the industry of assessing a partner, understanding and designing a roadmap for them, and helping them to take their unique next step was his mantra. And so it was all about, okay, where are you today? And what is going to have the most impact to you and your business? Is it jumping in and helping you get a set of Microsoft certs? We've got lots of education within our Pax8 Academy that can help you to do so. Is it I need to help my tech team, my service team level up a little bit. I can't be in that day-to-day anymore. So we have over 6,000 MSPs who are logging into Pax8 Academy every single month, taking those self-service, whether you want to join a peer group one-to-many or get that one-on-one coaching. I usually compare it to how serious are you about getting in shape? Do you want a personal trainer? Do you want to go to a cycling class with many people? Or do you just want to come in when you have time and get the right amount for you? So we do have that available. Yes, I do think it's very important.
And this is more of a philosophical follow-up to that. I think some of our partners struggle to get their technical folks to get the tests, right? To get the tests. I always kind of give the advice of, hey, you should create MBOs, management by objective bonuses, and basically just tell them that they need to get it by an X amount of date. What is your philosophy on that? For like how internal communications and maybe how to drive that?
Yes, to maintain all of our levels of expertise across all the clouds, it is important that we keep our team skilled up. We do have teams of people who are designated as the test takers when those new certs come out. But then we do provide bonuses for people who also get those certifications. Oftentimes people have a full plate of work. And so when you give them something extra that they need to go do, it is absolutely going to add value to the business. So I do think it's important to reward and incent that behavior that you're after. But I think it's important as fast as the industry is changing. I know we're going to talk about Copilot next. It is important to stay on top of those certifications. And make sure you come to the SMB specialization that Sherman Kranzer's doing. because that is there's a lot of great changes coming out in July.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's just it's the I mean, I run a business too, so I understand the complexities of chasing people down and their workloads and what they can do and how much. And you're like, guys, you need to get this cert, you need to get that cert. It's like just adding something else. But I think we should, as a partner group, as a partner, really put that as something that is a regular cadence. So maybe your technical resource has one cert, every month. Now, I will caveat this. We do understand, or I understand, and I'm sure Nick understands, that you probably sell 200 other line items and you have a lot of other vendors. Get it. We get it. From the Microsoft perspective, I think a lot of times they almost sometimes forget that they're not the only thing that you sell. So take it in stride, right? But I think especially with all the Microsoft is a starter for many conversations today. They're cool. It's a starter conversation. So why not make sure that we have our people up to speed on that? All right. Okay. Next, AI is a big topic right now. It's huge. It's a lot of unknowns. We've done a couple of sessions on it. Can you maybe kind of dig into, how is Pax8 providing AI, Copilot, data and AI type of resources, help, understanding? Can you kind of just dig into that?
Yes. When Copilot launched in Americas, we were pinging that API every 15 minutes for 2 days leading up to it. So we had 20 orders by the time they announced that launch was happening. And in Americas, we have sold more Copilot licenses than any other indirect provider in America. So we are all over this, and it is a unique journey. And what we're seeing right now is a lot of people are buying one license, two license. One, because the price point there, you still can't grab that on a monthly. Right now, it is an annual upfront. And so that price point is hard for some SMBs to consume right now. But we are doing all sorts of training through Academy. We are doing readiness assessments for partners and for their customers. And I would say, as someone who has been using it for 6 months, I do think it's not just another software or an expense. It's like a new hire. It's like an intern. And as you invest in training it and teaching it, the business potential and efficiency it unlocks really is a game changer. Pax8 uses a CRM tool and a service tool. And the integrations that come out of the box are next level, but this journey is going to be unique to you. And before you can sell it to your customers, I think you need to realize the value of it yourself. There are a lot of customers who are asking buy it by name because Microsoft is amazing at creating markets and creating demand. But you just need to be aware if you are on that business standard, on that business premium, there are some risks around data governance. If you're on ME3, ME5, you have the controls in place to take advantage of it. So before you go and turn it on for yourself or your customer, just spend the time to take those assessments and to get your knowledge there. While it is an amazing tool to unlock efficiencies, if you don't set it up correctly, there are some risks. So make sure you're getting yourself educated.
And I love that answer. From what you've seen on the revenue coming in, do you see more partners selling the co-op right now as opposed to? I look at it two different ways. I mean, not co-op. I'm sorry, Copilot as one, right? And then the other way is really data and AI, which is like, okay, we're going to take big data sources and using the AI function to really kind of help make better decisions. Where are you seeing it? Like maybe the scales leaning? Is it more on just the Copilot first, and that's where it is, or are you still seeing good entry into the big data piece?
Today, I am seeing just Copilot sales. I'm not seeing much. Pax8 did get the opportunity to fly out to San Jose to one of Microsoft studios and see what it can look like and what the potential is when you put all of your data in Data Fabric and you are leveraging the tools, because now your data is sitting adjacent to Copilot, and then leveraging Copilot Studios as an overlay to create custom experiences for different departments within your organization. Hey, finance, do you use Excel? Yes, of course you do. Well, here is what that experience can look like for you. Hey, service team, do you use Copilot for service? Yes, of course you do. Well, let's create a custom experience for you where all the data you need is at your fingertips, and you can ask any question in an LMM fashion and get those answers immediately. We're finding for the test group that we have internally, it's saving them hours a day, not a week.
Yeah, we use it a lot here in internally, and it does. Oh my gosh, just even on the marketing side of it, it's really really fantastic. Um, so that's interesting to hear. That's interesting to hear. Is it more on Copilot? The Fabric thing is something else. We recently got asked to teach Fabric. Funny thing is, we're teaching Fabric to all the ATSs and CSAs for Microsoft. It's an internal thing, and we're teaching them on it. But it's amazing. It's so cool. It's all in one pane of glass. Instead of data lakes and data factories, it's all put into one place, so it's one lake, and it's just much easier to actually utilize, right? But then that Copilot Studio, holy Moses, that is pretty good with that. And I know that we're bouncing around here a little bit here. I had the I'm kind of I guess. Let me ask you this: where do you see partners falling down? I know maybe we didn't talk about that, but I think you could answer that. Like, where are you seeing like partners falling down, and then which way? Maybe conversely, what are the most successful partners doing? Okay, I know it's a broad question, but maybe you can give some clarity to that.
Yeah, the challenge I see for many partners is one that both of us try to solve. It is navigating the Microsoft ecosystem and understanding this should resonate with you, Sherman. How do I compliantly show proof of execution against Microsoft approved marketing activities? These types of challenges, once you've passed all the tests and you get that cert, what are the things you can use some of those funds for? And so it is a massive ecosystem. It is changing and evolving for the better all the time. But just keeping up with that is probably the biggest challenge and pain point that I hear from partners. Those partners who are most successful, it's not an accident. They spend the time to get knowledgeable on the new technologies that are evolving. Copilot is a great example. We have one of our best partners on Copilot is a partner called SourcePass. They were our PAX8 Partner of the Year last year, and they have dedicated a team to getting the knowledge on Copilot. They use it themselves. They're getting all of the courses to make sure that they're meeting the certification, and they know that they're ahead of the curve. They know that everything isn't figured out yet, but they want to be one of the first in market to have this thing nailed. So I would say those that are most successful, it's not by accident. They're spending the time to ensure that they're successful.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think so. There's two things that's kind of leading into the question here, into the Sales Academy, which we're going to kind of dovetail into, is and I'll make a kind of a statement here. We've been doing demand gen for 4 years for our partners, and our specialty is we find the person that's on the cloud consumption journey. Okay, that's number one. We send them an email and we make the copy of the email. We get them to open up the email. We get them to look at the registration and actually sign up. And then we get them to show up, right, for an actual event, right? But then after that, then we provide the leads and we do polling and we really figure out like these are sales qualified leads at the end of the day. If you got 12 people that show up, they'll listen to you for an hour and a half. It's an audition, there it is, right? But what we found, and this is a statement, is our partners are having much difficulty understanding net new customer sales acquisition and what it really takes, because it's not a layup. It's not the way that our partners have generally done that, right? So that's one problem, and I want to know if you agree with it. So that's one thing that we've identified as a really big miss. And then number two is really understanding marketing. All right, I think is understanding and also investing in marketing. So if you could maybe just answer, what are your thoughts on those two like areas that we see problems in?
Yeah, I think there are lots of ways in order to get some technologies, and I'll speak more generically so it doesn't feel like I'm picking on any one vendor. But you can, as a customer, oftentimes go directly to a vendor. What all of my vendors tell me is when there is not a partner involved, they see a pretty high churn rate, sometimes in that 30 percentile range. So the partner ecosystem is so incredibly important to not just landing that customer and getting them to say, yes, I want this and I need this, but setting it up correctly, understanding the business process, ensuring that this technology is integrated into all the tool sets of the employees day to day is absolutely critical. So partners are the key. And because we 100% of the time sell through partners, we see a churn of less than 3% annualized. So we know that partners are the key to getting technology, setting it up correctly the first time to make a sticky customer. On the marketing front, yes, every customer is a unique snowflake, and you need a way to quickly assess that ideal partner profile and the journey, the customer profile, the customer journey, and make sure that you have the ability to assess where someone is, and just like Rex Frank, help that customer take their unique next step, and have an agile framework that allows you to do so and create that value.
Excellent, excellent. I think, and just to maybe extrapolate on that, I think we need to be consistent with our messaging, and we need to, marketing is not about start stopping, right? It's about having consistent, messaging. It's about doing something and doing it for 6 to 12 months, but tweaking it, right? If you're not getting certain results, tweak it, but don't stop. Don't stop, and I think as a distributor, Pax8 can provide a lot of different, marketing tools and things to look at, but also be careful of marketing product. I think that's the other thing too. We talked a little bit about, we find a solution. So we have something that's attractive because we're solving a problem. That's what your marketing should be about. It's really about solving problems. You've identified this in an industry. You're a specialist at solving that problem. We specialize in helping the manufacturing, industry get ready for Copilot, data governance, retirement of applications. There's, so many things you get into, right? But so, and marketing. But so when we got reconnected, we were talking about to a gentleman, Jeremy, that you have on your team. It's a company you acquired. And I love this, and I wanted to bring this up to people because it's a sales academy, right? And it's really helping partners learn how, not that you aren't good, but what if you bring in new people coming into your business, right? A new SDR. How do we help them get to there? And so, can you tell me a little bit of history behind this initiative you have, and then tell me a little bit about that so that we can help the partners here? I think that's a great resource.
Yeah, as part of Pax8 Academy, which is the C-level operations acquisition, became the foundation of Pax8 Academy. I think when we first started talking with Rex, he thought I wanted to design something to go way up market with a very high price. And I said, no, that's actually not what I want. I would like for you to take everything that you do, turn it into modules, and let's give it away for free. And that includes selling, service, tech, vendor IQ, business IQ. Let's take all of that. And now he has created over 800 modules, and all of this is free within Academy. So yes, if you need sales help, we have spent a lot of time on what we call the partner value framework. And this is all about helping your customers grow, get efficient, and reduce the risks of their business as they plan towards a capitalization event, perhaps. And so it is not ever talking about, and here's how Office 365 is going to help. It is, here's how you grow, here's how you get more efficient, here's how you reduce risks in your business, because those are the outcomes that everyone is looking for. So yes, in Pax8 Academy, again, which is free, whether you have a new seller, a new tech, a new service leader, they can come in and at least get that foundation. So an easy way to train some of your employees.
Yeah, no, and we walked through a little bit of the content, and I was pleasantly surprised at the level of detail, and it speaks to areas that you normally would not get from a typical vendor partner, right, that you have. It's about, what are the gaps we're gonna. And the other thing too is, as a partner, sometimes we're so mired in what we're doing to move forward that we forget that we need to make sure we keep the engine lubed up.
Yes.
Right? Keep the tires inflated, check the tread, guys. That's a kind of a thing. All right. So, we have another poll here. I'm kind of curious. Have you ever participated in sales coaching and training, and did it provide value to you or to the people that you actually shared this with? So I'm curious if you can just go ahead and click on the vote there. I would say yes and yes. That's going to be my vote. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. But I've been through, gosh, I knew I was in sales when I was like 12 years old. So, but I've been through probably 10 or 11 different trainings, and frankly, some people don't like to do those. Well, nobody really likes to do them. But you can always build from everything. You can always get something good, to that. And then if you're an owner of a business right now, I think if you're honest with yourself, go back and inspect your sales. Do they have a CRM? Are you tracking their KPIs? Are you tracking their activity? Do you know everything that's going on with every potential opportunity? Is it put in there? These are some of the fundamental things that you need to actually put in place so that you can track. And I think the other thing too is to think about customer acquisition a little bit differently. Now, in our industry, the average number of deals our MSPs do per year is 4.5, 4.5 deals a year. Think about that. 4.5. That's it. It blew me away when I heard that. I'm thinking you need to do 6 to 12 a month, right? But then again, what are you selling? What are you doing? What is your motivation here? But we have to start getting our sellers who we have on staff away from this thinking that if they do 1 or 2 deals that they're successful. We need them to not only pay for themselves, but we need them to bring in 3 times the revenue, right? 3 times what we're paying to actually make this. You're putting a bet on somebody, but also don't be afraid too. A lot of us we're kind of afraid of our sellers sometimes. Oh, they keep pushing back. You have to be able to look. This is a business. We got to run it like this. I need to know what you're doing. Simple as that. And we need to have lots of activity. So I think that's really important. I think you'd agree with that, right, Nick?
Of course.
Awesome. All right, so the next one here that we have here is really, how do you help partners with their solution partner designations? It's kind of apropos from Pax8 perspective. Yeah.
Yes. I would simply say we have a boot camp for that. Whether you are looking for something on Azure, Modern Work, BizApps, or Dynamics, Pax8 is hosting a boot camp every month in every geo. And in that boot camp, we take people at all levels. So you can come in, get an assessment. Where are you at in your journey? What are the things that are going to help you take that next step most quickly, and what the impact will be? So we just help you to establish the outcomes that you're after, and then we will create a flight plan for you that is unique to you and where you're at in your journey. So we have boot camps every single month, and we have boot camps in every geo, on every cloud. So take a look at our schedule, and these again are free. So come in and at least get your journey started with Pax8.
All right, that's great. I guess now this is another. I know I'm coming out with some questions off the cuff here, but from your perspective, okay. If you were starting a new partner business, okay, what would you focus on? What would you think would be like? What would you focus on? Is it security? Is it data and AI? Is it legacy? Is it what would you do? And then maybe how would you go to market?
Yes, I think it's important to have the foundation of a managed service provider business, and I do believe that is Microsoft in all cases. I think the product that is most widely adopted by every single small business is I need email. And so using that as a launching point and ensuring that you got the fundamentals down, I would ensure that I had a great team on Modern Work. And then, yes, then it's important to realize what your special sauce is. Pax8 has 15,000 active selling Microsoft partners in the United States. And we see one person, one customer to thousands of customers. And what we see over time is I am a generalist, and I will help you to service anything that plugs into the wall. And then over time, develop that specialization. And sometimes by accident, we'll be looking at data for a partner and say, hey, did you know that 18% of your customers are in healthcare? Have you thought about changing your message to be more appealing to this natural specialization that you have within your base? And then they start lumping in some of the line of business applications that are healthcare specific. And I would absolutely, if you don't incorporate AI into your business, I do believe you will be left behind. So, and AI can help you with security. So I would get the fundamentals down, take it to market, find my natural secret sauce or specialization, and then I would leverage AI and security to be that differentiator.
Now, what I like about that, and thank you for that, that's very insightful. But what I like about that is that also gives the legacy partner who might be on this call or listening on LinkedIn or YouTube an idea of what's next to shape their business, right? And you might be tired of being a problem business. That's the other thing too. Are you a problem business? The only time people call you is because they got a problem. Now, that kind of sucks. I remember when I was in real estate, I almost opened up a management firm, right? Property management firm. And then I was about to put the money in, I was about to get it going. And then I just sat there and I had this epiphany at night. I'm like, do I really want to start a problem business where nobody likes me? And I mean, unless I absolutely save them or there's always a problem, like, no. So maybe think about that. But I think for a legacy also is, how are you shaping your business for tomorrow, right? Can you take a look at a lot of the stuff that you're doing and maybe you start morphing away from the break fix stuff into more, solutions that will solve problems that will have a much higher margin, and I'll give you an example. We do a lot of research over here. The valuations have shifted from MSPs to security provider, MSSPs, right? You used to have a 2 to 3 multiple on EBITDA, for an MSP, right? And now that's about 1.5. But if you're an MSSP, you're now looking at a 4 times a multiple on your EBITDA, right? And okay, think about that. But what's the catalyst for that? There's so much less time on an MSSP who's more cloud specific and cloud based than an MSP who's still sending people out, utilization rates, all these things, profitability. So people are looking at it that way. So I think in what you're saying and kind of what coming together here is we want to shape our business, right, to increase utilization rate, reduce wastage and time, but maybe specialize in something that's a little bit different. And then I think, lastly is find a problem. Gosh, go out there. There's so many industries that have a problem that this technology can solve, but go figure that out, because that's pain. That's pain that as soon as somebody's talking to you and you can talk about 2 or 3 of the little issues, boom, they trust you. Boom, they're talking to you, right? Because everybody and their mother, actually, like Nick was saying, 18,000 partners or so, all saying the same thing on their website. We are the best at calling you back. We are the best at our response times, our knock, our SOC, our whatever is the best, but it's not. Guys, everybody's the same thing, right? So we have to think about things a little bit differently. Always be evolving, always be looking at different things. Okay, so I want to just dive into a couple things. I want to give you some nuggets before you leave. One new strategy that we're implementing that you should do yourself, okay, is when it comes down to measuring your sales staff, okay? This is a kind of an innovative idea, but what I would suggest that you do, if you're kind of wondering whether your sales team is actually following up on leads and actually doing the right thing, is to go ahead and submit an actual opportunity via your own website. Okay, think about this, right? Now you're going to have to probably create it's going to take you about $100 to do this. Just going to FYI, okay, to do this. You're going to create another email from ABC IT company, and you're going to put that, and you're going to have a signature that you're the president or whatever. But what I would suggest, because we found some amazing things with this, and I'll get into that in a second, but go ahead and submit an opportunity, because I think you're going to be very, very surprised at the lack of response. We did that for 20 different partners recently, and out of the 20 different partners, 3 responded. Think about that, okay? 3 responded, and out of those 3, 2 were any good at the conversation. We actually had a full-blown sales call. I actually talked about, we have a big network, and, we're thinking of going to the cloud, and I was kind of waiting for them to kind of come up to this, but there's really no better way, because especially if you're spending money on marketing, right, and you're giving leads to your sales staff, what I'm trying to do is help you plug a hole if you got one, right, is think about things a little bit differently, and that's what I suggest you do. Go ahead, create a website, a quick web page, who your company is, whatever. Get an email, submit that, and I bet you're going to be surprised at what you find from that. And it's not trying to cause problems here, but hey, I'm here to help you, shape your business. Last thing, keys to the castle. This is going to be really important in our workshops. It's what you need to know, or what you need to have to work with Microsoft sellers. So our company specializes in shaping partners to work with Microsoft. I think ultimately everybody wants to go ahead and get meetings with Microsoft sellers, right? I think if we raise our hands and put a poll up, we'd all, well, yeah, we want to meet with Microsoft sellers. But they have changed the rules of engagement. And we talk about this all the time with our partner base. There are certain things you have to do to be allowed to talk to Microsoft sellers. So if you don't know it, pay attention right here. I'm going to give you the keys to the castle. Okay. 1, you have to be a member of partner ID. So you have to be a Microsoft partner. 2, you have to have your partner solution designation. You have to. Okay. Number 3, you have to have an advanced specialization. Okay. Which is now just called specialization, right? Number 4, you need to have a co-sell offer in the workplace. Okay. Really, really important to have a co-sell offer that's in the marketplace that is tied to the type of business that you're doing. So if you're doing Teams phone migration, you want to have an offer from that. If you're doing Azure migration, an offer for that. Or if you're doing a data and AI workshop, have an offer for that. Okay. At that point, when you have all of those things completed, you get put on a special drop-down list. And now Microsoft sellers are allowed to work with you. Now, the sellers, what you don't know, and I'm going to tell you right now, is the sellers all raised their hand and said, hey, we're getting inundated with too many people trying to get our attention to set meetings with us about random opportunities, right? But we want to work with partners who can actually do implementation, not necessarily just sell the licensing. Okay, it's implementation partners. They want good partners. So Microsoft allowed them to say, okay, you don't have to work with any partner unless they have these areas, these keys to the castle. Okay, but if you don't have that, it's going to be really hard to work with Microsoft. So with that being said, that's my 2 nuggets that I wanted to share with everybody here today. Nick, thank you so much. And you want to just kind of give a last parting, thought to the group?
Yeah, just to say that it's excellent to be back with Sherman. It has been a long journey for me personally, and a challenging and a rewarding one. But it feels like coming full circle, being back with you today. So thank you for the invite. Check out PAX 8. We have you can see the sign above my head, Beyond, coming up in June. So if you are new to PAX 8, go to the website, check out Beyond. We got an amazing event coming up in 45 days.
Awesome. Well, I need the invite for that, man. You got to send me an invite. Ticket. All right. All right. Thanks everybody for joining today. Really do appreciate it. This has been fantastic. If you came on LinkedIn, you came on YouTube, we've got a wide distribution channel, or if you're watching this later, thank you so much. Also save the date, end of June, end of May, not June. Oh my gosh. End of May. We've got Andrew Bowe, big time guy over at Microsoft, and bringing him in there. And then lastly here, just real quick, would you like us to pre-register you for the BOMP? Basically, we're going to send you the ICS directly. Go ahead and push yes or not at this time, or duh. Either one. We really appreciate your feedback. Happy to go ahead and just send you the invite. So this way you don't have to keep registering every single month. With that being said, Nick, thanks again, man. I really appreciate it. This has been fantastic. And thanks everybody for joining. Have a great afternoon. Take care. Peace. Bye-bye.